Praise the Lord. We're glad you're back. We've been talking about men's issues, about men's attitudes, or how real men act on the job. And, it's really important for men to be successful. I don't know of any man, Kim, I don't know of any man that wants to be a failure, Kurt, I don't know of any man that wants to fail. I mean, Eric, I think that there are men out there that they want to succeed, but sometimes we haven't taken a good look at the elements that we need to succeed. Most people want maybe what is called the American dream, and most men want to have a home, a family, and
sure.
and some stability. But there's certain things that they need to have in their life, and we've been talking a little bit. You talked about personal integrity as far as what you need on the job to succeed. You talked about doing a cut above, keeping your word, working hard, and what have you. And Eric, you said something there at the end of the last segment that even an attitude, that your attitude on the job is you want to help your company succeed. You work at a water filtration plant, but there's an attitude there. Some people look at their employer as they owe me something, rather than coming in and wanting that employer to succeed.
Yeah.
Take off on that for a few
like
moments.
Jesus had a servant's heart. He was there to serve. That was his mission in life. No matter where he went, no matter what he did, he was serving, not being served. And that's what I want to do, is I want to go in and I want to serve this water plant. I want to serve my employer and in turn serve the community that I'm supplying. Actually, 3 communities that I'm supplying water for. I want the best water possible to come out of my plant.
Wow.
And I want it to come out reliably, consistently, all the time. I don't want people to think about, I wonder if the water is going to be fine today.
Yeah.
If I have to drink bottled water today or something like that.
And Jesus said, if you want to be great, you got to be the servant of all.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you're out there to serve, whether it's serve your boss, serve your community, be a servant.
But like that, being the servant, going in there, wanting to work and serve and do the best that I can. I don't have to worry about if my boss is coming up behind me. I don't worry week to week if I'm going to get fired because I got caught doing something I shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
There's no worries at work. I go into work, I have a great day.
Yep.
Every day.
Exactly.
I don't worry about it. I know what's expected of me. I take it a step farther.
Let the chips fall where they will, brother.
That's right.
Okay.
End of the day, the chips fall on my side because I've done my job.
That attitude of even doing a little bit more. There's some folks that they want to go on the job and do as little as they can.
Yeah.
And let me fulfill as few as the least requirements possible.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they don't get promoted, and they wonder why they're not succeeding and things like that.
They wonder why the other guys don't like them. They're always picking on me. Well,
Oh yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, talk about that attitude. You hit it, just doing more than what's expected.
Well, actually, from a gentleman from our church when I was growing up. His name is Buzz Solomon, John Solomon. And he made the statement to me that stuck forever. He said, if anything worth doing is worth doing right. And if you strive for excellence and you fall a little short, you're still very, very good.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
I was like shooting for the stars, and when you get the moon, don't complain.
Growing up as a kid, I always looked for somebody to cut above that kind of model myself after. There's a guy in our church that it was just every day. It was just stand forth, and if you saw him at church, you saw him outside church. He was the same stinking person. And we're all works in progress.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to be who I am today is who I am tomorrow, and who I am today is the same person you're going to see at Myers. There's so many individuals out there that have been pampered all their lives, and they don't know any better. So it's not like I'm picking on anybody else, but they don't know how to go that extra step to be an excellent person or to be a cut above. When you see it in an individual, there's a couple of individuals that I know that I work with, and they want to try. And if you give them a little bit more, like Kim was talking to, give a little bit more, and they'll rise to that level.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think every man is looking for excellence, but he just doesn't know how to get there.
I think part of it is, just the attitude. You can go into a situation. I do this at work all the time, and have that positive attitude. And I know there's probably been preached 100 times by secular and Christian alike, but having an attitude where how can we get this done? You know, we have customers that request of us a lot of different things, and sometimes it isn't things that we normally do.
Sure.
But we ask ourselves, can we do that? Do we have the capability? Do we know somebody we can get a hold of, a supplier, a manufacturer that can meet this customer's needs? And then we go to work and say, okay, well, let's check it out. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make this happen. Instead of like, well, we don't handle that product, so I'm sorry, we can't help you with that. Just staying on the positive side has opened tons of doors for us and opened the doors for business that we probably would have never had if we hadn't said, okay, is there a way we can do this? You know, and in life, it's the same thing. I was telling my kid the other day, it's like, as soon as you say, no, I don't think I can do that, it shuts off the creativity.
You are right.
You're done. You don't think about it again. What you ought to say instead of I can't do that is how can I do that? How can I accomplish that? Because then the juices start to flow, creative thoughts start to come, and solutions come.
Yeah, the word can't should be taken out of your vocabulary.
Exactly.
Philippians
Just like-
4:13 is do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
And that applies to everything.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of prayer, a little bit of the Holy Ghost, you can accomplish anything you need.
Well, just yesterday, my daughter's car was not started. It lost all power, and we had knew it was either the battery or the alternator, and it was one of these batteries that were buried.
Yeah.
You know, there's an obstacle there that when you hit that obstacle, there's a part of me that says, "Forget it. I'll have somebody else do this."
Yeah.
But there's that other, then something else, you get that choice. You can either quit or go, man, I know I can get this thing done. You know, within 20, 30 minutes, it took a little bit of work, but there was a satisfaction when I got that battery out.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I did have one of those situations that they had too many parts in that car. That was part of the problem. Because when I put it back together, I had extra parts. But it runs now. It wasn't running before. But it's amazing when something clicks, when you say, let's give this thing a shot. It's amazing the creativity, like you said, that counts.
There's so many statistics out there on the word can't, and especially when a person verbally speaks can't. It shuts you out. It really shuts your brain processing down, and you don't even continue anymore on that thought. You actually go to another thought as soon as you start saying can't. After about 3 times, it's gone. Whatever you're trying to do is gone. Even the trying to figure it out.
Wow. And maybe to a degree in the United States, you probably have a better finger on the manufacturing end, but I mean, there's just, some people have shut down they're shut down their creativity. They've shut down their ideas because they've said we can't, or it's somebody else's responsibility. Right.
Well, I read stories a lot of times because I'm in the business world on different businesses and maybe in Forbes magazine or something like that, it tells about maybe the genesis of a business and why they think the thing failed, and a lot of times that's what it is. Well, this is the way we've always done it, and we don't want to try anything different, and I mean, that kind of an attitude it won't work. Not for the long haul.
Necessary, but can we look at this a little different? I
Exactly.
believe given enough opportunity, we can either save money, save time, or maybe a little bit of both. Can I give it a try? And they're like, sure. So. And that's another step above.
Okay. Well, and we haven't got much time, but you just brought in a whole other attitude in there. It's just a helpful. I mean, it goes back to that servant attitude, and I might even call it leadership, being willing to at least offer solutions. A lot of people can bring problems.
Oh yeah.
There are plenty of people that can find holes. But it's a whole nother thing to be a hole filler or to be able to say, all right, this is wrong, but at least bring some solutions. I've tried to do that. People come to me, this is wrong, Pastor. I don't like this. Something. How about giving me some ideas?
There you go.
Yeah. In fact, I read someplace there's companies do immeasurably better if they get a program running where their employees, the people out on the manufacturing floor or whatever, give ideas and it's rewarded.
Right.
Like I worked for a company once and $20 to whoever had an idea that they put into practice.
Sure.
And they're one of the last ones in their industry in this area.
Really?
Where the other ones around them are closing their doors. But it's that whole getting the creative juices going. It's I can make this better.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a little thing, a bunch of little cans add up.
Wow. Now I know this is what I'm about to say is going to sound sexist, and I know it, and so but this program is sexist because it's called for men only. But I believe that within men, within us, within men as a whole, God put certain leadership things. Not that women can't be leaders, but I believe that God designed and put some leadership, some pioneer type spirit, some just something in them to lead. And some of that leading is sometimes just taking the responsibility to, all right, here's a problem. Let me see if I can fix it. Let me see if I can come up with an idea. Rather than being a can't person or a shut down, this is somebody else's responsibility. At least let's come in. Let's try something. Let's do something. Let's get out there and give it a shot somewhere.
I had one of my mentors that grew me up in the business, I guess, and we talked about this. A friend of mine at work today again, and it's like this was what he said. He said, "Do something, even if it's wrong. Do something." So he was definitely not, didn't cater to
But
those
you know what?
that sat
They
there
say
like
that
a
in the
deer in
army
the
too.
headlights.
Yeah.
Huh?
In the army, that's what they tell you. Just don't get caught standing on. Even if you're doing the wrong thing, be motivated and do something.
Do something. Yeah.
That's all they ask.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. I mean, I use this idea that even a train on the wrong tracks that has momentum, all it takes is flipping a little switch to get it on the right track.
Right.
Yeah.
But a train that is immobile, that has no movement at all, you can take. I mean, this thing can weigh tons.
Oh, yeah.
But you could take a small block and it'll stop that train. So at least getting some movement, doing something. Even if it might be wrong, doing something is better than doing nothing. Man, guys, this has been a good program. I feel energized. But this is men, and I think these are some discussions men ought to have.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the way a man acts on the job, and I think maybe this is something that we need to even teach to our young people. Is
Definitely.
something just for them to listen to this.
Very much so.
Because they're even saying today, we have a very highly educated young people coming out of high school and schools and colleges, but they say that they don't teach you how to work in school.
No.
They teach you how to study and learn, but they don't teach you the right attitudes and the things you need. So, listen, I hope you enjoyed today's program. I'm going to tell you, you might want to, if you're seeing this on the internet, if you're not seeing it on the internet, you can see it on YouTube. This might be a program you want to watch and maybe even have some of your young people see. Thank you for joining us today. We trust you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time on For Men Only.